Welcome to the Libman Education Review of Coding Clinic for ICD-10 CM and PCS Update, second quarter 2019. My name is Barry Libman. Thank you for joining us. Different types of atrial fibrillation. Our next atrial fibrillation question and answer addressed a commonly encountered issue. Different types of atrial fibrillation all appear at the same indentation level under fibrillation atrial in the alphabetic index as subterms. Within an episode of care, if a provider documents several types of atrial fibrillation, should a separate code be assigned for each type of the atrial fibrillation that is documented? Coding Clinic instructs us to only assign a code for the most specific type of atrial fibrillation that is documented. Chronic atrial fibrillation and other types of atrial fibrillation cannot clinically occur concurrently. Coding Clinic offers several definitions of different types of atrial fibrillation. Take a few moments to review the definitions below. Let's look at some changes to the ICD-10 CM index relating to reporting of atrial fibrillation. As mentioned, this Coding Clinic advice on atrial fibrillation reporting is effective as of June 2019. On the left, we have a snapshot of the index that's effective at that time. Note that changes made to the index for fiscal year 2020 make selecting atrial fibrillation diagnosis codes easier. Specifically, note that the subterm chronic has a further subterm persistent, and that the subterm persistent has a further subterm for long-standing. Thank you for listening. If you have questions or comments, we would very much like to hear from you. Happy coding!